100 days ago I got a standing desk, and in this video I'm going to explain the good things and the not so good things that I've experienced since using it. And for reference, I use a Harmony standing desk. I have made a video about it which I link up here. Apparently using a standing desk is a smarter and healthier way of working. But is that actually true? Before that, I'll explain how I use my desk. I work from home, spending much of my day on my laptop. Before getting a standing desk, I used to sit at the kitchen table, at my dressing table, or on the floor. I also tried propping my laptop on a stool, and I also used my mum's wedding hat box. This box and this hat is over 49 years old. None of these setups felt great. In an ideal world, I would have some fancy pro electric desk and an ergonomic chair, but that isn't a possibility in my house because I haven't got the space. Most of my working days I start standing. I'm at my desk for 7 hours a day. I did ease into using this when I first got it, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. Usually I stand in the morning, then see how I feel after lunch. If I feel up for it, I continue standing, but if not, I sit down. And then of course there's the days where I just want to sit down all day. Today's one of those days where I just really don't want to stand at my desk. I just can't be bothered to put the standing desk up. I never push for standing longer than I want to. Now let's look at the good things I've experienced since using a standing desk. I move more and take regular breaks. When standing, it's really hard to stay in one position for long periods of time, so it encourages me to move around. Compared to when I sit and work, when I get tired, I tend to slump deeper into the chair, and then it gets harder to move the longer I spend there. But when I'm here, it's really easy to move around because my body gives me all of the signals to move when it needs to. As a result of more breaks and moving around, it's helped stop computer brain. You know that feeling where you're so locked into your work and you're just staring at the screen and you know you should take a break and you don't.
You just can't.
When standing, my brain feels fresher. And as a result of the previous 2 points, then I'm more productive. I found that when I stand, I feel more alert. I do get fidgety, but I think that's a good thing. Ding, ding, ding. Side note. I love using the Pomodoro technique with the standing desk.
You have finished a Pomodoro. Take a break.
And that's a technique where you work for 25 minutes and then take 5 minutes break and then just repeat it. Maybe I'll make a video about that another time. No more tight hips, no more hunched over shoulders. Now my eyes are at screen height, my head is upright and in line with my spine. My arms and wrists are all lined up and my shoulders are down and back. And my hips feel absolutely fabulous from not being scrunched up all day. It does take a bit of work to maintain this posture, so it is something to be aware of if you're thinking about getting one of these.
A couple things we need to get organized. First, your foot and arch goes straight forward. Rib cage in and down, fully externally rotated, and then keeping that position, I just flip my hands up and I'm still in an organized position.
I also team standing with using a posture corrector, which reminds me about my shoulders. I often do online speaking engagements and I really like standing up for them. I can inject some good energy into them, move around and express myself like I would do if I was there in person. So now we've covered the good things, let's cover the not so good things that I've experienced since using a standing desk. If I stand for too long, my feet, my legs and my hips can get really achy, and I would imagine that some other people might also get an achy back. When I get that feeling, I sit down. My body always tells me when it's time to take a break or to stop standing. It took several weeks for me to get used to this new working position, and sometimes it was so uncomfortable and it felt so frustrating. So I just eased in with 1 hour a day and then I just gradually increased the time that I used it. Like sitting, it's not good to stand for long periods of time. Probably the two are just as bad as each other, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm way more inclined to move around and step away from my desk when I'm standing compared to sitting. And let's be honest, we're not standing guards at Buckingham Palace. We can move when we want to, plus we've got the choice to sit down when we get tired. This next point is a bit of a weird one. I've realised I'm a terrible typer. Now I have to look up and down to see what I'm typing. I really think that I need to do some speed touch typing type course. For a long time, I felt reluctant to spend the cash on a standing desk. And then there's all the extra accessories you'll need, such as a separate keyboard and mouse and all that kind of stuff. And any standing desk setup is going to take up extra space. If you haven't got the cash or the space, but you still want the benefits of standing, then I recommend this video where Kelly Starrett gives a really great alternative and also some food for thought on our working positions. And then there are some neutral points. I'm not too sure how I feel about them. There is some stuff out there saying standing desks helps improve sleep. It's something to do with sleep pressure. The idea is that standing is more active than sitting. And then there's the marketing spiel of burning more calories when standing. I'm not a fan of this kind of stuff. If you're buying a standing desk to lose weight, you've got it all wrong. Don't be fooled into thinking that standing is exercise. So, is standing better than sitting? I prefer standing, and I'm going to continue using this setup. I really enjoy the way it makes my body feel, especially my hips. I also like the positive effect it has on my work and productivity. And this video isn't me saying that standing is better than sitting. This is just me sharing my experience, and your experience might be different. In fact, I think the question is standing better than sitting. I think it's actually the wrong question.
The goal is not sitting versus standing. Wrong conversation. Remember, as a human being, my goal is to move as much as possible.
So should you sit or should you stand at your desk? I would argue that isn't the right question. It appears that the most important principle is to move regularly.
There may not be a perfect desk setup, but what I know is we weren't designed to sit for hours, all scrunched up, staring at a computer most of the day. We weren't designed to stand for hours either. Nature intended for us to move. All we can do is do our best to make improvements on what we have.